please lead us in our invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Oh, thank you. Give you honor, just glory, praise for this evening. Time we gather, we ask that God that you would be with us and be with us, make wise decisions for the county. Sometimes not always the easiest thing to do. We ask for your guidance. Ask that you be with us. Let us return to our home safely. We just thank you for those that are here, God. We ask that you bless those. We ask you bless the ones that would like to be, can't be. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. To begin, I would like to add 2 items to the table pack to authorize public hearings regarding cemeteries and stormwater management for the end of our meeting. Do we have any conflict of interest disclosures as we begin? Seeing none, we will move along to recognitions.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. Tonight, we are proud to recognize Paul Langlois, Landfill Operations Supervisor, as the April Employee of the Month for his outstanding work ethic and dedication to the county since January of 2018. Paul exceeds expectations, demonstrates a strong work ethic, and takes the initiative to go the extra mile when assisting both customers and fellow employees. According to his coworkers, Paul assists with the orderly operations at the landfill, and he is an excellent team leader. Thank you for your dedication and professionalism you bring to work each and every day. Your commitment to serving Prince Edward County and the residents and his coworkers make you a valued member of the Prince Edward County family. Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul. That's very good.
All right, one additional recognition tonight. Supervisor Patty Cooper Jones brought to the attention of staff an opportunity to recognize 2 young county residents who, as good Samaritans, came to the aid of a neighbor. The board will have the privilege of meeting Jamarian Boatwright and Kamante Kimbrough, whose awareness and quick actions made a meaningful difference in our community. When they realized a neighbor was experiencing a medical emergency, they did not hesitate. They called for help, demonstrated maturity, compassion, and strong sense of responsibility. Their actions reflect the best of Prince Edward County, and we are proud to have the opportunity to recognize them tonight.
It is Jacoby Word that's been acknowledged. Jacoby Word, his brother is Monte.
We'll make sure your certificate comes corrected, sir.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations.
What you want to be known for.
Yeah, they want me to read this.
Excellent. At this time, we would like to open up the floor for public participation for anyone in the gallery, any concerned citizens. The board would welcome you to reserve any comments that you may have regarding our specific public hearings that we will have later. And it looks like we have Mr. Redford signed up, followed by Mr. Clark for our public participation.
Good evening, board
Good evening.
and fellow citizens. James Redford with Prospect Volunteer Fire Department, serve as Assistant Chief, also serve as a training officer for the Prince Edward Area Firefighter Association. Just want to speak to you regarding last month's meeting and the discussion of the volunteer tax incentive that was tabled at your last meeting, and it's on this meeting's agenda as item number 11. So first and foremost, for those who were at the budget meeting, you heard me say this, the entire Prince Edward Area Firefighter Association supported this 100%, the entire association. This is several years of work, a lot of a lot of staff hours, questions, research has been done, things of that nature. So clarify a few things. It was mentioned that it's not fair to every volunteer. And we knew this in several of our public safety meetings and several of our association meetings, that this tax incentive wasn't going to be for every single member, because not every member of every department lives within the county. I'm one of them. I've been fighting fire in Prince Edward County for the last 18 years, but I live in Buckingham County, okay? Been in the fire service for 26 years. Just because I don't live in Prince Edward County and I won't be a benefit of this tax incentive doesn't mean that I don't believe my fellow firefighters that do live in the county shouldn't receive it. I shouldn't hold that up. That's not a good idea. Why would I want to hold them back? The second thing is recruitment and retention. While this may not be a sole reason that 1 or 2 or 10 people may come to join a volunteer fire agency because of recruitment and retention, it does help. This is a small token of appreciation that we can show our volunteers that are eligible for this tax incentive. And it's a small price when you compare to career and paid staff for fire and EMS. It was tabled so that the chiefs and the association could do more research. This topic, again, has been discussed for almost 2 years. In fact, I think it's over 2 years when you go back and go to the meeting when it was first brought up. It has been researched. It has been talked about. The entire association agreed upon it. And the reason it came before you all is because we, the association, presented it to our emergency manager and the liaison that we consider between us and you all. If we didn't agree on it, we wouldn't have had it before you, okay? So just wanted to clarify that for you all and for the public. And this is a start. It's not an end-all, be-all, but it is a start, and that's what we're looking for. Just something to get started, something in incentive. So are there other ideas? Absolutely. There can be several other ideas, and those ideas can be presented at another day in another meeting for more research, and that's fine. But what you have before you is time sensitive and has done the research. We've done our due diligence. So in turn, for the public's info and for you all, again, the entire Prince Edward Area Firefighter Association does support this and back this. And we ask that you do the same on item number 11 when it comes up on your agenda. Please pass it, and we'll go further from there for extras if we need it. Okay? Thank you very much for your time.
Next signed up, Mr. Daniel Clark.
Good evening, members of the board. I'm Daniel Clark, I'm the Chief of Farmville Fire Department. Just to echo some of the words that Mr. Redford spoke, is that this is not end-all, be-all idea. Prince Edward County is a very unique locality. We're a two-college town. A lot of our members come from these colleges. They are not local residents. Their vehicles are not registered in Prince Edward County. So they may not benefit from this. But there are other members in the community that are serving the residents of Prince Edward County day in and day out. Just a little bit of information, 82% of all departments across the country are volunteer. Now, anybody that's in any civic organization, whether it's a Lions Club, Rotary Club, church organization, can see that volunteers are declining. It happens across the board in all organizations, and the fire service is not exempt from that. We're seeing it all the time. In 2020, there was over 676,000 volunteers across the country. In the last 3 years, that has dropped nearly 40,000 members. This is a 25% decrease since the mid-'80s, while the population has risen 40%. So our volunteers are decreasing while the population is regularly increasing. Call volume is increasing. The cost of equipment and the time they have to devote to fundraisers is increasing, and the training hours are increasing. Our standard level of firefighting is firefighter 1, provided by the state. That is 210 hours of training that they have to attend. And these are members of your community that are working a full-time job. Their spouse is working a full-time job. They have kids to raise, a home to maintain, sports activities to take their kids to, all while still taking this training and serving their community. These volunteers are the backbone of our community. The National Volunteer Fire Council contribute that volunteers, at an estimate, contribute $946.9 billion every year in donated time and services. So that's their donated time and services. So imagine if that time and services was not donated, how that would impact the community. So we would hope you support this effort that we're putting forward as an appreciation and a retention effort to keep the volunteers in Prince Edward County. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes our list of individuals signed up for public participation on general comment. At this time, we have Board of Supervisors comments. We'll start at this end. Supervisor Emmert.
Just like to say to each and every one of y'all, thank you for being here. This is your time to talk to us, so thank you. Jerry?
Thank you for being here and continue to ask for your continued support.
I'd like to say thank you. It is indeed nice to see all of you out tonight, and I would encourage that you continue to come and see how your board works for you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for holding us accountable. Thank you for calling us, for emailing us, for providing input, because that's our job. We have 8 different people. You should have at least one of our cell phone numbers, and be contacting us with your questions, your comments, and your concerns. Thank you to all of the firefighters who are here present tonight and each one of your brothers that you represent. Thank you for the tremendous service that you provide for our county. I'm excited that we have an opportunity to say thank you tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also particularly looking forward to talking through our strategic plan. Last month before last, the board carved out time to set our vision, to set our mission statement, to make sure that the county's mission and vision statements accurately reflect the will of the people. And I'm very, very proud and excited about the product that we have to share with you on that tonight.
I echo the same sentiments, and we really appreciate the participation. You are the way we find out what needs attention, what needs corrective action sometimes. And man, thanks for the mostly young men in here who are volunteering on the fire department. I've attended a couple of these banquets, and when you all thank like people like us, it is an uncomfortable moment. We want to thank you all. I really appreciate it.
Thank everybody for coming out tonight. Have a safe drive home.
Good evening, everyone. We thank you for your attendance, and we thank you for participation in your county's government. Have a good evening.
I'm glad to see everyone tonight. I would like to tell everybody, if you get a chance, look at the new air van. Really looks nice, quite an impressive piece of equipment. Thank you.
Very good. At this time, we have our consent agenda. I'd like a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. At this time, the board welcomes Mr. Scott Frederick.
Good evening, Chairman and Board, County Administrator. Thank you for having me.
You, Scott.
Most important thing I need to do tonight is request a public hearing next month for our secondary six-year plan. Normally, we do a work session, but I've been communicating with the county administrator. Our projects last year went slightly over budget, so that kind of dips into the money that would normally be kind of like a cushion to work in. So having had that happen last year and seeing that prices are probably going to stay the same or go up, and, you know, very unlikely that they're going to go down, I want to kind of take a break from adding any roads this year to kind of rebuild that cushion that I used to have to work in. So I'm going to take a break off from doing a work session this year and just change the dates on what we already had approved last year, kind of fix some of the estimates to make sure they'll stay in budget as we start working on them. And then next year, we'll hopefully be able to do another work session and get your priorities added. So I don't know if you guys need to make a motion to do that or not, but I did want to request that we would do one next month.
We have a motion. All right, we'll entertain a motion to advertise
So
public hearing.
moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes.
All righty, thank you, Board. And I'll be working with Mr. Stanley. I have the draft plan with the updated dates and estimates is pretty much ready to go, but I'll be getting that to him by the end of the week. So from what I updated you guys on last month, the schedule work where we resurface our roads with the contractor, that hasn't started yet. We still expect to see the latex schedule come in first, followed by the surface treatment schedule. And then towards the end of the summer, we'll have the plant mix resurfacing schedule start. But you'll see our crews out patching the roads in advance of those schedules. And they have been patching. We did Free State Road and also Raccoon Crossing, and then we're going to kind of move over towards 626. We're going to do some patching on that and some other roads in that area the end of this week and into next week. So you'll see us fixing the roads. We're going to start our litter pickup towards the end of April and the first week of May, and then a contractor's going to be doing that for us, and also contract mowing. They're going to start on secondaries, so 1 week after you start seeing litter picked up, you'll start seeing them mow those routes. So that's where we're at with mowing. I'm sure your people will be asking you about it. The other thing I'm sure they're asking you about is we cleared a section of the median on 460. It's right there by the concrete and asphalt plant. There's a lot of truck traffic right there. In the past, traffic engineering put up some signs that say truck crossing, but with all that truck traffic, we've tried every year to keep the limbs on those trees pruned back, but it's just something we always had to keep retouching and retouching. But I finally was able to work with our district roadside crew and actually just get all those trees taken down, so it kind of make it way more efficient for us to keep that sight distance, you know, maximum right there. So that's, if anybody else, that's what we're doing. You guys have several times asked me to focus on Poorhouse Road, and I haven't forgot about it, but we are going to be using a contractor to replace some of the pipes. They should be starting that later this month, and then we're also going to ditch all the ditches out and make sure all the drainage is working properly again. And then we're also almost finished installing a high water monitoring system on that road. So anytime it rains hard and the road goes underwater, there's going to be gates that come down automatically. They're activated by the water. And then they'll stay down until the water goes down, and then our guys will check the road. And as long as the road's in good condition, they'll set those gates to go back up. So it makes it to where we don't have to run out there and manually shut it down. So we're excited for that project to finish up. And then the only other thing, just obviously, we're going to be doing our normal work, cutting brush and taking care of other routine maintenance items as well. But the overhead signs all the work that we did on 460 at 307 years ago, the last thing from that initiative is the overhead signs. They should be getting installed sometime in mid-June. So if anybody's asking, we took some overhead signs down there, and we're going to be putting them back up. So, well, that's everything I came prepared to update on tonight. Do you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns? Yes, sir.
The corner of the intersection at 15 and Farm to Lake Road continues to have accidents there.
I've noticed an uptick in them there myself.
I have friends that live on that road that say they always check their rear view mirror before they turn left to see if the car following them is actually slowing down.
Okay.
A lot of times they say they just abort the turn, go straight, and regroup and come back the other way. Yeah, I've had a few people say that there needs to be a stoplight there. That seems excessive, but should we have a warning light? Can we have a study? Can we, should there be more of an alert?
I do think studying it's a good idea. The type of driving they do is defensive driving. I do the same thing at my road. I live just south of there. But as I'm slowing down to make any turn, I always am watching what's happening behind me and ready to abort. So, but yeah, I'll be happy to take a look at it. I think there was a single vehicle run off the road right there sometime last week, and it was a malfunction of the vehicle, to my understanding. It was like
There was a car upside down in that little median a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
6 weeks ago.
I think there's been 3 or 4 like in 4 months' time, maybe. So it's like I said, I noticed the same uptick there. But I'll put it on the list of ones to study. I'll send it to traffic engineering. But thank you for bringing it up.
I have 3 items.
Yes, sir.
Coming out of Farmville to the back Hampton Sydney Road, right there where the town ends and the state begins. The road is sunk down and the dirt is about this high and the water stays pond there.
Okay.
That needs to be graded a little bit.
Gotcha.
On Singleton Road, 2 items, they recently cut the power lines and they cut a few cedars and some of it fell over in the road ditch right on the side of the road. And also, where the spring is over the hill, somebody ran into the road and ran in it, and now the water's running back on the edge of the road.
Okay. Gotcha.
Thank you, Scott.
Yes, sir.
307 is wonderful. Well, y'all fixed 307 with the lights and all.
Thank you.
Good job there.
Appreciate it.
And then on Lockwood Road, there's a couple of places you might want to look at,
Okay.
They're kind of wide and long, so
I got you.
you'll spot them.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Scott, as you on going 360 west, entering to Verso, that road is terrible. It gonna cause accidents, a drop off, and it look like the asphalt just chipped away.
Okay.
Big spot, you really gotta go and make a.
Verso at 360.
Yeah, Verso 360. And before you get to the bridge, you enter the bridge, it's a pothole right there.
Okay.
And as you go down there, they put covers in, they don't cut out and gravel. Do you know how long it's gonna be for they resurface that?
On Verso?
Yeah,
Um,
it's 2 places, one on Verso and one on Mount Pleasant.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I know they're working that direction.
Okay, but it's a lot of potholes.
Gotcha.
Because you had some logging business going through there.
And Mount Pleasant's like that too, where
Yeah.
as soon as that logging operation, we're patching it up right now, but we're gonna try to.
They
Fix
finished
them.
logging on Mount Pleasant, but they're currently logging on Verso.
Okay,
So you got the same issues.
okay.
It's a lot of patchwork.
I didn't realize they'd finished. I was told they were still out there.
Okay,
But,
and 752 Walton Road, need brush cut back, especially turn around for the bus.
Say that one more time.
752 Verso, Walton Road. And the entrance to the dumpster site need resurfacing, gravel, drop-off.
Okay.
If you can take care of those, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
It's about 200 yards southwest of Mount Moriah Church on Toval Road. I don't know exactly what happened there, but there was a pothole big enough to drive a small truck off in, quite literally. It's still there.
Okay, it's on Tuggle. Okay. And you said it's 200 yards south of Mount Moriah.
Southwest of Mount Moriah Church. You can't miss it. Just drive out there and close your eyes.
Sounds like it.
It'll stop you. Can't miss it.
It's been
It'll knock the headlights out of your vehicle.
Yeah. Well, thank you for letting me know about it. I'll see what I can do to fix it. It's been, that winter we had, I think I'm glad it's gotten a little bit drier for the sake of the roads, but, that's helping them not break up as bad now. Anything else? All right.
We got your cell phone number. We'll call you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna point out that on the Gully Tavern Road, if you're coming from 460, if you're going eastbound, you take a left on Gully Tavern. Maybe halfway the length of that road, it looks like the snowplow has torn up a good bit of the road. I mean, I guess that's fairly common, but
Okay.
that will probably get worse if not fixed.
Yeah, we'll probably have to do some patching there too, it sounds like. All righty. All righty, well, thank you, board. You guys have.
Very good. Thank you. All right, at this time, we have our public hearing for the proposed fiscal year 2027 county budget, the FY 2027 school budget, and the calendar year 2026 county tax rates. Mr. Stanley.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, county staff, our citizens, thank you all for being here and being part of this tonight. So tonight, we're going to have a public hearing on the FY 26-27 county and school budgets and the county tax rates. They were published in the April 1st, 2026 and April 3rd, 2026 editions of the Farmville Herald. Again, the format closely follows that of previous years. As the state code dictates, the advertisement is for informational purposes. A full copy of the budget and a comparison of the FY 26 and FY 27 proposed budget are available for public inspection review on the county's website. I've got a presentation I'm going to go through, hit the highlights of the proposed budget. So tonight's meeting is our public hearing. We have a scheduled meeting next week on the 21st for consideration of the budget. By state law, we must wait 7 days after the public hearing before you can act on the budget. And then the last piece is the approval of appropriations. And typically, particularly in this case this year, we're going to wait until the state hopefully has a state budget and we know exactly kind of what those numbers are when we do our appropriations resolution. So the board and staff have been working on the proposed budget since January. We've had 5 meetings and work sessions to work specifically on the budget. Proposed budget and tax rates have been advertised. The goals that we set at the beginning of the process. So for the public, we sat down our first meeting and we talked about what are the highlights, what do we want to accomplish? And that included maintaining or improving our current levels of service, staying competitive with staff salaries and addressing compression issues, continuing financial planning for capital improvement projects, including but not limited to our elementary school renovation, which is currently underway, the animal shelter project, which we're working on, and our public safety radio system improvement project, which should be completed this fall, fingers crossed. Also, continue to promote economic development, investing in our community, whether that's the HIP Park or our Manor Smart Scale project, which is going to be hopefully starting here in another year. Making public safety improvements. I think you'll see tonight, one of the highlights this year is investing in probably the most important task that you are tasked with, which is maintaining public safety. We have the full cost of the new joint dispatch with the town of Farmville. It's the town of Farmville, it's Longwood, it's Hampton, Sydney, it's all of us in together. Our Peavers and Prospect staffing consideration, moving to a full-time Director of Emergency Services position. And lastly, but just as important as any of the others, maintaining low real estate taxes. Some of our cost drivers include anticipated flat revenue. The economy is not necessarily booming in Prince Edward. We're not seeing our revenue streams grow by any significant amount. We know the cost of salary increases, whether it's us or the school system, they're costly. The capital improvement items and implementation of our budget goals. Our real estate, we've estimated at $10,350,000. We billed at just under $10 million in 2025. Our personal properties is pretty stable at $7.1 million. We've been able to bump up sales tax a little bit, about $100,000. Our meals tax is up about $50,000. Our transient occupancy tax is flat, and we've seen a handful of other categories that are up slightly. I'm talking 5,000 here or 10,000 there. Not significant. Some of our funding changes that are included in the budget for the county staff, general personnel cost, a 2% COLA, which is $166,000. Would note that is partly covered by the compensation board for the state. We have a number of positions, whether they're sheriff's office, commissioner of revenue, treasurer, that are funded by the comp board, or at least partly funded by the comp board. So that contributes to the 2%. And then we've got a 2.5% merit increase. You have to meet standards to be able to get that, cost of $204,000. We've got a budgeted 10% health insurance increase, and I'll talk a little bit later. We're seeing a higher increase, and we'll be trying to address that between now and when we do appropriations. And we've got a handful of merit increases for staff that stand out. Additional positions, we've got a community development position that would start January 1st to replace Trey's position in community development. We have part-time funding to help our building inspections department perform at a high level of service that we want to maintain. And we have part-time funding for an animal control position that we've got somebody out on maternity leave. And we have a full-time position included in the budget for solid waste collections starting January 1 that would basically be in charge of direct oversight and management of our collections operations. In our sheriff's office, we've got an increase in courts for part-time from $140,000 to $160,000. And we've got about a $30,000 plus bump in our maintenance service contracts. Most of that is due to the body-worn cameras that all of our deputies are carrying. Joint communications, that the price tag for us the first 2 years to join in with the town. Remember, last year we implemented it starting October 1. Full cost is just under $350,000. Our radio system debt service, almost $370,000. That's the county share of that new radio system. And then we've got $200,000 built in for maintenance. That maintenance will kick in 1 year after the system is up and running, but we want to get a start and get some of that funding put in the budget. We've also got leasing in the budget in the amount of $30,600. The 3 tower sites that we have are going to be leased tower sites. They're part of the budget, and we'll be talking a little bit about one of those later tonight. And then our regional jail, we've seen our numbers of inmates that belong to Prince Edward County has increased, and so we're looking at a budget increase from 1.6 to 1.8 million. That does still not cover necessarily the potential full cost, but we do have a reserve fund to help us in case those numbers don't come down. Fire and rescue, EMS, we've got a proposed $10,000 increase for Meharon. We've got an EMS insurance increase for both Peavers and Meharon of $5,000 total. It's $2,500 per department. We bumped our volunteer fire department contributions. Insurance is going up from $10,000 to $12,500 per department and providing $5,000 for Farmville. And then we've budgeted $30,300 to cover the hose testing for all of our volunteer fire departments. We've also budgeted $20,000 for reporting software so we can provide that software for our volunteer fire companies so they will not incur that cost. So as you can see, public safety is one of the big ticket items in our budget this year. We've also got the second half of our mainframe computer, AS400 replacement in our budget. We're continuing to fund for the next reassessment on a 4-year cycle. That will actually start July 1 of 2027. We've got an increase of $25,000 for our Crossroads CSB, Community Services Board. We've got $25,000 included for the YMCA After School Care Program. That's a program the schools are partnering with the Y to try to help parents that need help with childcare after school so that they can maintain a full-time job and be able to pick their kids up afterwards. We've got $54,818, which is year 2 of our Regional Economic Development Initiative. We've got $350,000 plugged in for debt service for our new animal shelter. And our school CIP funding, we dedicate all of our meals tax to school capital improvements. That's the estimated $50,000 increase that we've anticipated in the upcoming budget. That's all going towards the elementary school project. A few other items. We've got funding for paving a new scale house. That's not the full cost of the new scale house. We've been setting aside funding, I think this is year 4 or 5 now, for improvements at the landfill. We've got CIP money in the budget. We still have money for a Sandy River project in the budget. And our contingency fund, although not where we probably need to be, it's pretty adequate, $114,258. Those are for the kind of unplanned items that will come up throughout the year. So included funding, we've estimated state revenue. School budget increases include the federal, state, local operating, the governor's estimate, and an increase of $400,000 in local funding, which works out to $12,639,342 operating, $536,816 debt service. Does not include that debt service to the elementary school, which is basically on our side of the books. And outside agency increases as approved by the board after our donation review with those outside agencies. Funding not included. We are still using $850,000 of fund balance for schools based on an anticipated surplus. We've been playing this game for a couple of years. The school board, and we've got that later on there, we've been returning 50% of their unspent funds for the previous year, but we've been able to recoup some of that back to replace this use of fund balance. We do not have included, as we discussed, funding for the Prospect ambulance, but I believe, I think there's interest on the board in finding a way to make that happen. And, we will look at the budget between now and appropriations and finalizing the budget to see if we can make that happen. Again, I mentioned Piedmont Regional Jail. We've got $1.8 million in there. The initial estimate was about $2.3 million, but we do have a reserve fund that can help offset that. In our latest health insurance increase, which we got about a week and a half ago, looks like it's going to be around 23% versus 10%. We're looking at some options to try to get that number down. But I can tell you, being self-funded, it is 100% based on our claims. We're not in with anybody else. It's what we're seeing from our employees. So our budget was initially out by 1.1 million. We closed the gap by evaluating local revenue, using fund balance for one-time capital items, and cutting and trimming items from the budget based on the priorities that the board set. Just in closing, I always like to include this slide. This is Prince Edward's real estate rate compared to our neighbors. We're at 39 cents per hundred. There's no increase included in the budget for this year. It would put us at the second lowest real estate rate next to Lunenburg, which is now at 37 cents. And you can see the rest of our neighbors. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any, or I can answer them after the public hearing. Again, by law, we can't take any action on the budget tonight. Tonight's the opportunity for you all to receive feedback from the public on the proposed budget.
I was just gonna explain a term. That when he says fund balance, that means money we've already got lying in the bank, you know, that's not necessarily.
Is there a savings account for it?
Savings account, that's what that is. And, you need to maintain a healthy fund balance in order to get low rates for borrowing and such and for emergencies, but that's just what that is.
But sometimes we'll use it, especially for one-time items that are not reoccurring.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Does the board have any questions of Mr. Stanley before we open up the public hearing?
Good job.
No? All right, very good. All right, at this time, we will open the public hearing. Do we have anyone signed up to speak?
Let's come in, Mr. Chair.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, first up from the lead district, Mr. Chip Jones.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, Mr. Stanley.
Good
Just to give you some public comments on the proposed budget that Mr. Stanley just proposed. As both your superintendent and proud resident of Prince Edward County, I want to stand before you with a deep sense of gratitude. As I approach the conclusion of my first year leading the school division, I want to thank Mr. Stanley, each of you, the school board, the dedicated Prince Edward County Public Schools team, my family, because they've dedicated a lot as well, and this entire community for their support. And I will be the first to say that we are not perfect, and we never will be, but I can promise you that we wake up every day with the attitude to get better. This year has been defined by a power of we. We have focused intensely on building relationships with Longwood University, Hampton-Sydney College, Southside Virginia Community College, local businesses, and community organizations. Here are some of the results. Work-based learning. Over 50 students have been placed in real work learning environments throughout the school year. Mentorship and training. We have a mentoring program at our high school with Hampton-Sydney College, and we've had a pipeline of student teachers from Longwood in all of our schools. Vocational expansion. Yesterday, we met with other Region 8 school divisions. There were 8 of us that came together, along with the Virginia Masonry Association, to discuss the possibility of launching a regional masonry program in our region. I understand that we are Southside Virginia. I'm a product of Southside Virginia, and we must meet the needs of all of our students by providing different opportunities for our students. Most recently, over 60 education majors from Longwood spent 6 Fridays with us at our elementary and middle school, observing classrooms and working on the teaching pipeline for Prince Edward County Public Schools. Thank you for your support of the second graders' water safety lessons at the YMCA. We just finished for our elementary school. And as Mr. Stanley just talked about, we're looking ahead to partner with the Y to offer after-school daycare for families that may need it, which would begin on the first day of school, August 12th. And it'd be a Monday through Friday program, 3:30 to 6:30. I recognize our role in economic development. Whether an individual is pro-public school or not, the reality remains. People look at a map to decide where to relocate, and the first thing they look at is the school system. And they ask, is this a place where we want to be? The elementary school project that you have proudly funded is a powerful symbol of that answer. It has people buzzing with excitement because it represents the investment in the future. To continue this momentum, we have requested an additional $400,000 in local funding. And I want you to think of this as just not a line item, because it represents an investment in our future. To continue the momentum that we have started building, I must work to put the funding to recruitment and retainment of staff, because it is competitive. And right now, as I gave you a handout when you first did your budget work session, we're in the lower part of Region 8, and I want to be one of the best to attract and attain staff members. And also these funds, the additional funds, will go to support 3 mental health counselors at each of our schools. There'll be one at our elementary, one at our middle, and one at our high school. Because currently, we have a grant, and we've been able to work through to have this support with Fulcrum counselors. The difference in this would be, these are our staff members, and we're not paying a company. So it would go to that. Because right now, schools have become more than just education. We are responsible for the whole child. And each child every day comes with different concerns. And whether you like this person or not, I'm a big quote person. I'm reminded of something that Tom Brady once said. To me, any team is about the culture. It's about the excellence of the culture. He may not be everyone's favorite, but his career was defined by relentless pursuit of excellence. That's my goal for Prince Edward County Public Schools. Not to just get by, but to pursue the excellence in every classroom, each activity, each facility, every office, every transportation route, and each time you see the Eagles in the community. Thank you for what you do each day. I know you have obligations on your plate that are many, and the decisions are difficult. But please know that every dollar and every minute that you provide is an investment in the heartbeat of our community. We are Eagles, and we're very proud, and we are just getting started. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions while we've got Dr. Jones up here? You brought up Fulcrum Counseling.
Yes, sir.
Not trying to micromanage or second guess, but can you talk about potential cost savings by bringing that
So
service
the
in-house?
Fulcrum counselors, Amy McClure has been with me. She's does our grant. So currently, when we were paying Fulcrum with 3 counselors, what were we paying a month?
$30,500 per month.
And so with this, that's a purchase service that we pay. This would be our staff member where we could hire and have more say-so in what they do with their students. Because right now, we work through, the counselors are ours, they're not our staff members, but we work through a program director.
Makes sense.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else? No, thank you,
Very
sir.
good.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next, Ms. Kimbrough is signed up. Ms. Susan Kimbrough.
Good evening, Chairman Jones, members of the board, and Mr. Stanley. My name is Susan Kimbrough, and I serve as the Vice Chair of the Prince Edward County School Board. And tonight, I'm speaking on behalf of the board, as our chair, Kanan Townsend, could not be here. First, I also want to thank you for your continued support of Prince Edward County Public Schools. Your past investments have made real and meaningful differences, and we are truly grateful. The support has helped position our division to begin moving in a positive new direction. I'd also like to highlight the leadership of our superintendent, Dr. Chip Jones. In a very short time, he has brought focus, energy, and a clear sense of purpose to our schools. We are seeing stronger communication, a renewed commitment to academic improvement, and a growing sense of trust across our division. There's real momentum building, and that is something worth sustaining. However, progress like this requires an investment, And so the budget before you is not about maintaining the status quo. It's about continuing forward. It's about ensuring that we do not lose ground that we've gained, and we're able to build on the progress already underway. And a key part of this effort is really our ability to recruit and retain high-quality teachers and staff. This remains the most important factor in student success. Teachers are the number one factor in a student's success. So competitive compensation and strong support systems are essential if we want to attract talented educators and keep them in our classroom. Simply put, strong schools depend on strong people. So tonight, I respectfully ask you to continue this partnership that's brought us to this point. By supporting this budget, you are investing in our teachers, our staff, and most importantly, in the students of Prince Edward County. And I want to thank you again for your time, your leadership, and your ongoing commitment to our community.
Thank you very much. No one else has signed up to speak in this public hearing. Would anyone from the gallery like to speak on this question? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. No motion is required. The board will consider adoption of the budget and tax rates at its scheduled meeting on April 21st, 2026. At this time, the board welcomes Mr. Robert Love.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, tonight, public hearing is to consider a special use permit that's been filed by Jonathan Yates on behalf of Milestone Towers Limited Partnership, doing business as, Milestone Towers. The proposal is to construct a 255-foot tall communications tower on land denoted as parcel record number 046-A-50. It's located on the east side of Five Forks, about a tenth of a mile from its intersection of Pin Oak. This parcel is zoned A1 agricultural conservation, and this use does require a special use permit. The revised application, which you have in front of you in your packet, shows an increased overall tower height of 255. If you remember in the past, we used to have an ordinance that limited towers to 199. We removed that because we knew that the P25 Public Safety Radio Project needs a higher tower height at approximately 250. So that happened months ago, and then this application was refiled with my office. This public hearing was properly advertised in the Farnborough Herald. Adjoining property owner list is in your packet, as well as a letter sent to them. Planning Commission held an advisory hearing on March 17th. We had a room was full. We had numerous speakers that spoke in support of the project. We did have some that spoke in opposition to the project. The Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the special use permit, forwarding it to you with draft conditions. One thing I do want to note for the record, on page 187 it follows on page 188 and 189. On March 13th, before the Planning Commission meeting, we received an amended site plan from the applicant. This was in response to some community concerns. And so there is a alternate site location, which is approximately to the center of the tower, 271 feet from Pin Oak Road, and approximately 197 feet from state right-of-way to that tower. This is a newer location than has ever been proposed to, and that's what the Planning Commission considered that night. I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have of me.
Do we have any questions before we get started? I'm sure we'll have some for you.
Yes, sir. I'm available.
Okay, thank you very
The
much.
applicant is here, and I'd like to have a presentation for you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Supervisors, Jonathan Yates, along with me, Matt Penning of Milestone Towers. First and foremost, I got to do some thank yous too. Thank you to Robbie, thank you to Trey, and most importantly, thank you to Supervisor Gilliam. We've worked hard on this project. As all good projects, it's taken a few twists and turns, but in the end, it came out right because all the ingredients are there. The facility in question has a twofold purpose. One is going to help the county complete their new network the trade's been working so hard on. In addition, and this is where I first met Supervisor Gilliam, he was saying, I need some coverage out there. I need some better coverage on the Verizon phone. In addition to the county, we have a 255-foot facility that's designed for Verizon and 3 additional broadband carriers. So as I see it as a win-win. We first selected this property after a careful search for Verizon initially, and that's when we first met Bob Gotts. He and his wife are with us tonight. Bob's property was exactly where Verizon needed to be, and a perfect piece of property. This property is about 56 acres. Bob got it from his uncle, James Alton Turns, back in 2001. And since then, there are no structures on the property. Oh, by the by, it's been in the family for about 100 years. 56 acres total. Bob lets a buddy of his plant hay on it, about 15 acres. Otherwise, you have 41 acres of incredible hardwoods, and he hadn't timbered in a while. Very important, it is exactly where Verizon needed to be, much needed out there. Going forward, we were working on the facility for Verizon. I started talking to Supervisor Gilliam, to Trey, understanding that we could join forces, so to speak. We did a redesign on the tower, working closely with Trey and with the folks at Motorola to come up with what the county needed for the tower also. Verizon, to their credit, was very gracious and wanted to be part of it. So going forward, we hope this is a win-win for everyone. The county, very important system for the county, and I think you'll hear from others on that know a lot more about than I do. But on the other side of the equation, coverage is needed out there. It's much needed. This facility, in addition to accommodating the county, will accommodate Verizon, and we'll have space for 3 additional broadband carriers. So again, my thanks to a lot of people. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Trey. Thank you, Supervisor Gilliam. And thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Gantz, for allowing us to do this on your property. I'm here for any and all questions, as well as my boss, Matt Penning, if you have any questions. But I think there's some people who want to talk to you after me.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Our first speaker signed up is Mr. Daniel Clark.
Good evening again, members of the Board of Supervisors. Here today and speak on behalf of the radio tower that the gentleman spoke about. This radio tower is very important to all of public safety. Just like any other equipment that we have, we're not able to do our job without the hose that we use or the water in the fire truck. We have to have adequate communication to be able to relay vital information, whether it's when we get on scene to tell others what's going on, or if there's a firefighter in distress and we have to call for extra help. The radio system is a vital piece of our equipment. The sheriff spoke at the planning commission meeting and spoke of an incident with one of his deputies. He did not have radio communication. He was fighting with a suspect, but he could not reach out for help. We all face that. Our radio system is far outdated. And everybody in public safety, along with the county, the town, have been working to upgrade the radio system. And this is a key component of that, is this tower site. So we greatly appreciate your support and thank you for everything you do for public safety.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, Mr. Chris Call.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Mr. Stanley. My name is Chris Call. I'm the president and assistant chief for Hampton City Fire Department. I also live at 41 Stockton Road in the Stockton Lake subdivision, right up the road from the proposed tower location. Just want to state that I fully support the tower at this proposed location. I can personally attest to the Verizon wireless cell phone lack of coverage in that area. As a father of 3 daughters between the ages of 14 and 21, 2 of whom have driver's license and drive up and down Five Forks Road on a regular basis, I can tell you that it scares the daylights out of me to have them on that road without proper cell phone coverage, knowing that if they needed to call me, that they potentially could not reach me due to lack of coverage in that area. More importantly, though, also as a first responder, I'll leave my house at night to respond to Hampton City Fire Department to run a call for service. And quite frequently, as I'm responding to the station, I lose radio reception on Five Forks Road, several dead spots on Five Forks. And I'll miss important information from dispatch telling me about the conditions on scene or what we're getting ready to find ourselves with a situation on scene. And this radio communication system will severely improve that and allow me to be able to hear what I need to know, not only while I'm on scene, but when I'm responding to the station to run these calls. This tower site is the final piece that we need for the radio communication system in Prince Edward County. We're looking forward to getting this taken care of so that the system can be done. And we look forward to your support on this project. Real quick, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, one more quick message I'd just like to relay to the board. At our general membership meeting held on March the 3rd, 2026, the membership of Hampton City Volunteer Fire Department unanimously approved a resolution in support of the personal property tax initiative that you'll take up in item number 11 on your agenda. And we look forward to your support in that measure as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Mr. James Redford. And while he comes up, I had a note passed to me. Of course, I did not mean to exclude all of our female volunteers in my thank you earlier. That was implied, all two genders.
Good job, Mr. Chairman. Good evening again, James Redford, Assistant Chief, Prospect Fire Department. Here to speak in support of this cell phone tower, which, as you heard in the two previous speakers, that will also improve our emergency public safety radio communications. So, when somebody dials 911, time is of the essence. Majority of the time, it's the worst day of their life, right? So, what does that person need? They're going to need help, and they're going to want that pretty fast, pretty soon. So, I'm going to paint a picture of why this cell phone tower is important in this location. In our radio system currently, we have several what we call dead zones, where the elevation is down low, okay? We use handheld radios. The Planning Commission saw one of those examples at their meeting. Handheld radio is average of 4, maybe 5 watts at best, okay? Our county repeater is on Lee's Mountain. If you're in the Prospect, Pamplin, Dawn Heights area, and you're in a low elevation area, and you key a handheld radio with 4 watts, unlikely you're going to make that radio communication signal travel all the way to Lee's Mountain and over here to the communications center at Town of Farmville. So what does that mean? A lot of times you'll hear that the fire department goes out on a call, or really any public safety in that area, goes out on a call, and they're in one of those low elevation areas, and they'll key the radio, and you'll hear dispatch reply, "I'm sorry, you're all static, I can't hear you." So if we're dispatched to a house fire, and in Prince Edward County, you're going to get 3 fire departments dispatched to a house fire and an EMS agency. In that area, if a house fire happens to be in a low elevation area, first engine arrived on scene, at best case, we'll have 4 firefighters, not usually, but at best case, we'll have 2 firefighters go in, do a search, 2 firefighters handle fire attack. Because in initial dispatch, it's unknown if everybody's out of the house, okay? First engine on scene, incident commander gives a size up, he gets out of the apparatus. What does he have in his hand? A handheld radio. What's the wattage? Maybe 4 to 5 watts at best, low elevation area, okay? He's got 2 of these. He's talking to his interior crew, doing a search on one TAC channel, not repeated. He's trying to talk to communication on the other. They go inside, they find the victim. The fire crew is fighting the fire. All of a sudden, the roof collapses on the room where the firemen have found the victim. Now what do we have? You heard Chief Clark talk about a firefighter in distress. They're calling out on the TAC channel, "Mayday, mayday, mayday." As an incident commander, I'm then keying my radio that I have a mayday. And what am I hearing? Or what is dispatch hearing? Can they hear me? More than likely they cannot. So what am I going to have to do? Because they're going to reply to me, "I'm sorry, you're all static." I'm going to have to walk back to the apparatus where I have a higher wattage radio. How much time does that take? Time is of the essence. This project, time is of the essence. If we delay this project, the time that it could take and delay this radio system project could be 12 months. We said it at the planning commission meeting, and we'll say it here too. It could be 12 months, because we've got to have testing of this radio system in full foliage. We're losing our window. Delay of this project could potentially turn that incident into a very bad incident. If we're delaying that, and something happens during that 12-month time period, the blood is on somebody's hands, and we don't need to delay this project. Now, that's a real-life scenario. It's several times, Darling Heights, Pamplin, Prospect, Meharrin, we've keyed the radio, and we can't get out. Dispatcher's asking us, all static, can you give me a call? As Sheriff Epps talked about in the planning commission, his deputy's fighting with a suspect on the ground. He can't pick up a cell phone and call dispatch and ask for help. He's got to key that radio. He's got to do the first thing close to him, okay? We got to do this for the greater good. Public safety is very important. You heard it. And so we ask that you not delay this project any further, and let's move it forward. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Next on our list, Mr. Sean Dowler.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, Mr. Stanley. I'm Sean Dowler. I'm Assistant Chief with Meharrin Fire and Rescue and a resident of the Meharrin community. I'm here this evening to echo and stress the need for this tower site to be approved so our system can receive a much-needed upgrade. For years, we've relied on an outdated system that lacks both adequate coverage and capacity. I think we're all in agreement. First off, I'd like to discuss the coverage. There's not a single department within the county that doesn't have dead or poor coverage zones. Prince Edward Rescue, Farmville Fire Department, here in the town, have consistent coverage issues anytime they're in the downtown area or within a large structure within the town. In fact, Prince Edward Rescue can barely radio from their station to dispatch to inform them they have a crew available for a call for service. Hampton City, same story. If they're dispatched down Five Forks Road or over towards Worsham Road in the low-lying areas, radio traffic becomes weak and broken. Meharrin, Darlington Heights, Rice, we all run into the same issues, depending on where in the district or within the county we're dispatched. Let's not forget about Pamplin and Prospect. It's virtually impossible for them to use their handheld radios. It's not an inconvenience, it's not a nuisance, but a serious life safety issue for our emergency agencies and our citizens. One prime example of coverage and life safety concerns was in the early morning hours of August 9th, 2024. Prospect's very own assistant chief became a victim of the flooded Appomattox River. As he was responding to a call for service, he hit the bridge on First Rock Road. It was flooded, not visible, and he was submerged. While he was trapped in the middle of the bridge with fast water rising and engulfing his car, his radio would not work. He could not reach dispatch. I think he managed to find his phone and was able to barely get a phone call out. Now let's talk about capacity. Based off the county's very own annual reports, fire and EMS calls for service have increased dramatically year over year. Since 2022, there's been an overall increase of 23.3% in calls, standing at 6,528 for 2025. And I'm only referring to fire and EMS. This does not account for law enforcement or Hampton City and Longwood. I'd like to give a breakdown of one of our most recent large-scale events. On the evening of March 16th, 2026, Prince Edward County endured a line of violent and damaging thunderstorms. In a window from 6:30 p.m. to 12 a.m., there was a total of 79 CADs initiated. Of those, 38 were fire services and 3 were EMS. In reality, the 38 fire service calls were in a much tighter time window. 7 fire departments, each department operating multiple apparatuses for multiple calls for service, with only one dispatch channel. The amount of radio traffic was unbelievable, and compounding the issue was lack of clear coverage. I estimate a quarter to a third of the radio traffic, especially in the Pampa Prospect and Darlington Heights areas, was members repeating themselves time and time again trying to communicate with dispatch and other responders. So, with that, I'm going to play a clip or two of some of the poor communications. And these are not the worst that we've heard. And thank you to the dispatchers for providing me these clips. I believe this was a fire call, a brush fire that was initiated today. And hopefully I don't blow anybody's ears out with this. But just take a listen.
Station 3.
Engine 6, 2 is responding with 2. Rush 6 is responding with 2.
Can anybody understand what was said on that radio? It's imperative that we push forward with this system upgrade. So in conclusion, we, the members of the fire and EMS community, we truly sympathize with the understanding frustrations that may be felt by anyone this project may affect negatively. We do not want to discount their views, opinions, or hardships, but this is more than it will be nice to have. This is critical infrastructure that is required if we want to keep our emergency services and our community members safe. So we ask you to please approve this project. Thank you.
Finally on my list, Mr. Randall Miller.
Good evening. Thanks for your time. After all that, I feel kind of bad coming up here and saying anything negative about anything, but we kind of fell into kind of a bad situation with buying the property right beside where this was proposed. Me and my wife bought the 40-acre farm that borders right beside the property where it's been proposed and had no knowledge of it when we went to buy it. I don't know if that's because it was not proposed at that time or if the owner didn't relay that. We don't know. I'm not going to say I'm against the tower in that area because I grew up 4 miles from there and I understand everything that's being said is true. It's bad over there. It's been my whole life. It's been that way. My only frustration is with where it's been proposed to be put. It will be built approximately 300 yards off our back patio where we spend a lot of our cookouts, watch the sunset. It's right on the western horizon. So our frustration is just with where it's been placed, not that it's necessarily close to us. Like they said, the field consists of like 15 acres of hay field that if you go to the right of the proposed location a couple hundred yards, tall timber, if it were located in that area, we might be able to see it, the neighbors might be able to see it, but it would be tucked in way behind like tall timber where you wouldn't see it near as bad, not 60, 80 feet from the road or close to us and the neighbors. So that's our only frustration with it. I have nothing against a tower in our area. Like I said, I know it's needed and it could potentially be life-saving. That's just our frustration. So if there's anything that can be done about moving it quickly, that's what we're for. Thanks for your time.
Yes, sir. That's the end of my sign-up sheet. Do we have anyone from the gallery who would like to speak? Yes, sir.
Chairman, members of the board, my name is Kevin McDermott. I'm directly across from this beautiful property. I don't come in opposition at all. I'm with Darlington Heights, and I can't hear anything on my radio either. So what I'd like to address you guys about tonight, being a new property owner, I did all my, due diligence where you ask questions. I asked my real estate agent, I looked up myself on the GIS system, and it's my understanding that this project has been kind of swimming around this area for quite a while. I think it would be good for the community if there was a way that on that GIS system, you could see on-hold permit requests, special use permits, any kind of permit request that would give a potential home buyer access to information that this may not be what they're purchasing. This beautiful land, which we love, and we love the county, love everybody in it. But there was no way for us to do our due diligence. Our realtors couldn't, and we couldn't. And I think there's an opportunity in all this to find a way. I know the IT department could do it. I don't know if their representative is in here, but it can be done. There could be a flag on the zoning that says this special use permit is in effect, or it's on hold, or something that might give a potential property purchaser a chance to do their due diligence. I mean, we pay good money for our property. I know this young man, beautiful family, they paid real good money for their property. And it just would be nice to know that we could come out of all this with maybe a way that we could inform somebody coming to this beautiful county that, that something like this is in the works, or could possibly be in the works, or is on hold from being in the works. But I absolutely support it. It's so needed. Someone's going to get hurt if it's not put in place. And again, thank you to all you guys for working with me and Supervisor Gillum to just get it I'm just a little bit off my front window because I am 387 feet from this tower. And I'm just going to put some lattice on my front porch. But thank you, guys. Please consider something like that. I know at this day and age, we can come up with something that would let a prospective buyer know something's coming to the land that they're purchasing, especially when they're purchasing it for a rural view. We came here to live out our days, and we still will, but possibly with better service if we have a problem. So, but please, thinking caps, put it on for potential.
All right. Does anyone else from the gallery like to speak? Yes, sir. Thank you.
I really don't think I need to be introduced. I think all of y'all already know me. I'm Dallas Tinsley. I am the past chief at Darlington Heights. I've stepped back to captain, but thank you for giving me the time to address the board. What you've heard from all the fire departments tonight is a genuinely true issue, and it needs to be taken care of. But one of the things that has not been addressed in all of this, and I think it's typical to Company 6, Darlington Heights Fire Department only, but from 47 coming out of Pamplin going to Charlotte Courthouse all the way to Highway 15, County Line Road, if you're on that road and you dial 911, you're gonna get Charlotte. You can sit in the parking lot of Darlington Heights Fire Department, dial 911, and depending on which way the wind's blowing, you will get Charlotte. Now, to get them to transition the call over to Prince Edward County, I'm not much of a dentist, but I know pulling teeth is hard. Okay? But that's a real issue along that corridor for Darlington Heights, not just the radios. I don't know how many times, and it typically happens with the rescue squad when they're coming out our way, I've heard, and now you think about this, you're waiting on emergency services to arrive, and they tell the rescue squad, we can't understand what you're saying, give us a cell phone call. Well, you think you got cell service? So passing that information along to the squad, which is so urgently important, just like with the fire department, the communication gap out there, not only on these, but on your cell phone is sketchy and in between. You know, when you can be 3 miles inside the county and dial 911 and you get Charlotte, and to try to get them to understand they can transfer the call, because I put the cell phone down and talk on this, and I said, well, you're talking to me on our radio system. You know, it's something that urgency needs to, not just to fix the radio system, but it also fixes the cell phone system that we have such a bad issue with out there. It's terrible. So, you know, I hesitated to say anything because everybody else was presenting it so good, but they left out that cell phone issue. There's no need dispatch to call me and tell me give them a call, because I can't give them a call either. You know, so this is something that really needs to be taken care of, and I appreciate what you've already done. Let's just finish the project. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else from the gallery? Yes, please. I'll get you.
Number one, I sympathize with the two citizens that spoke. I want to be real clear on how this project proceeded. This thing was originally filed back in the fall of '23, I believe it was. The properties, there were 6 properties that have been sold since '23 in this region. This application is a totally brand-new application. The former application was on indefinite hold. It never came back. It was a 199-foot tower in a different location. This tower, in your packet, if you look at it, was refiled on February 11th, 2026. This project wasn't going to come back until we had an ordinance update that could accommodate the P25 radio system. So I just wanted to have a point of clarification on that, so you all knew what had happened. We followed state advertisement laws and notification laws, and I made sure when this came back that I updated my property list, and there are 6 properties that actually sold or changed taxpayers in that time frame from '23 to '26.
Very good. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
First of all, thank you for acknowledging women and volunteering as well. I appreciate that. My name is Sue Carter, and I have volunteered as an emergency medical technician with 2 agencies. Since July 1 of last year, I have volunteered 500 hours in that capacity. And one thing that hasn't been brought up tonight, besides women and volunteering, is also the EMTs, right, the first responders. So we heard a lot about fire and how this radio system would assist them, as well as the law enforcement, but emergency medical services have really been neglected in this conversation. And as one of the only 3 emergency medical technicians with Hampton City Volunteer Fire and Rescue, I'm here to tell you that some days I'm the only one responding to an emergency. And if that emergency is in an area where I know I will not have service, where I know I will not have access to the dispatch, to where I can both call for help for me and my patient, I may choose not to respond because I'm by myself. So that will delay care for patients in that area. I also wanted to just kind of briefly tell you about a call without sharing any confidential information about this. So this was a call that we ran probably within last, I would say, 6 weeks. And it was in our district at the far end of it. And thankfully, we did have radio service. But the call was a gentleman, probably about your age, Mr. Gillen, was unresponsive and taking about 2 breaths per minute. Now, average breathing, 14 breaths per minute, right? So try taking only 2 in 1 minute. It's not a lot, right? We were able to get that as soon as we got into the first responder unit. Prince Edward marked up, and they said their ETA, estimated time of arrival to the scene, was 35 minutes. We got to the patient in about 10 minutes, so 25 minutes later, Prince Edward arrived. In that 20 minutes or so that we worked the patient by ourselves, we had provided necessary oxygen. We also called for a helicopter. So we really advanced and sped up the patient care because we had access not only to providers in that area, but also to radio, right? So we could call for help, and we could let the dispatch know what we need, and we could also let the Prince Edward know what's happening. So if that man is alive, it's because of fast response by Hampton-Sydney, and also because you provided us with tools to be able to call in what we needed for. So last thing I'm going to say is I'm also a Chief Human Resources Officer at Hampton-Sydney College. That is my actual job. And I'm an expert in what we call engagement, right? So this is workplace engagement or volunteer engagement, same thing. Research shows, studies show, and I have many anecdotal stories to tell you that 2 things drive workplace or volunteerism, right? Those 2 things are providing us with tools that we need to do our job correctly. And the second thing is valuing the service that we provide for the community. So giving us that radio system is going to give us both of those things. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? All right, in that case, I will close the public hearing. Board members, do we have any discussion, any clarifying questions, or a motion?
Mr. Chair, I think Mr. Yates brought a layout.
Yes, sir.
Maybe you could show that to us at the new location,
Okay.
please.
If I can approach.
Certainly.
This would be Five Forks here, Pin Oaks here. This is Bob's property. After working with McDermott, we moved the tower a bit over, a little closer to Pin Oak, and to improve their view.
Thank you.
We've been busily working since the move to get everything going so we can make time frames.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion, move that the Board of Supervisors approve the request for the special use permit by Jonathan Yates for Milestone Towers to construct a 255-foot self-supporting tower with the updated move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yep.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. The motion carries.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is amendments to the County Code, Chapter 70, Taxation, Article 7, Exemptions, that will be introduced by Ms. Crystal.
You want to introduce, you want me to for you, Crystal? You can go ahead. All right. Mr. Chair, members of the board, at its March meeting, the board authorized a public hearing on the proposed amendments to Section 70-200 of the County Code regarding real estate exemption for elderly and permanently and totally disabled persons. As recommended by Crystal Hensley, the Commissioner of Revenue, and reviewed and recommended by the board's ordinance committee, which includes Supervisors Jones, Emmert, and Gilliam. In Section 70-203, subsection 3, the recommendation is to increase the gross combined income of the owner during the year immediately preceding the taxable year from an income not to exceed $22,000 to an income not to exceed $30,000. In Section 70-203, subsection 10, there's a clarification of the documentation that will be required for submission by the applicant. And additionally, in Section 70-205, the recommendation is to expand the graduated scale of the tax exemption to 100%, 75%, and 50%. Commissioner's Office has provided a spreadsheet representing the current participants in the program in 2025, an estimate for the proposed amendments. Again, that's an attachment in your packet. This public hearing has been properly advertised. And I will say, it is fairly common every time you go through a reassessment process to have to go back and tweak the numbers, just because of inflation, to make sure that those that need help can stay in their homes and live out their retirement. So I think that's really what this is about. And we're not trying to really add people to the program. We're trying to keep people in the program that have been participating in the program. And with that, I'm sure Crystal would be happy to answer any questions.
All right, any questions for Crystal before we open the public hearing? No? We will open the public hearing. I have no one signed up on my sheet. Would anyone in the gallery like to speak to this question? Anyone online? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. And I will entertain a motion as listed on page 199 in the packet.
Move that we approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins? Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
And my vote is yes. The motion carries.
I want to say thank you to the chair and the board of supervisors for your continued support, to myself, my staff, and the county to help us all improve, and we appreciate everything that you all do.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you taking the initiative.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. At this time, we will welcome Ms. Cheryl Stimson to introduce the next public hearing, if she's available. Great.
Good evening, members of the board.
Good evening.
The public hearing is for the elementary school renovation and FY25 carryover request and appropriation. We did a public hearing notice in the paper for $2,167,745 from FY25 county fund balance. There's an error in this, as it was reported in the FY25 audit. And this is to support capital improvement projects listed there. And then the remaining funds will be used to support the renovation of the Barbara Johns Auditorium. So,
Very good. Do we have any questions for Cheryl before opening public hearing? Seeing none, we will open. And I have one speaker signed up, Mr. Chip Jones.
Good evening again, members of the board. I'm Mr. Stanley. Just want to show my support for the request for the appropriation of the $2,167,745. Of that money that will be used, it will be used for capital improvements. As you know, of course, we have the elementary school renovation project going on, but that is not the only capital improvement, immediate needs that are needed across the school division. Of this amount, we've estimated that $525,000 of this, some of this funding will be used to replace 3 rooftop units at our middle school for an estimated cost of $300,000. At the Prince Edward County High School, the purchase and installation of a chiller. And I had previously told you that we've worked with Gloucester County Public Schools on, they did a renovation of a high school and they had recently purchased a chiller. And we went and checked it out and had Honeywell, the company that we work with as well, go with us. A new chiller for the size of the Prince Edward County High School is $500,000. With this, the purchase of this, we can purchase the chiller and get it installed for around $125,000. So we've worked on a deal through that. Also, for Prince Edward County High School, we have, when you pull up into the parking lot between the elementary and the high school, and you're looking out across the football field and the baseball field, the fencing that goes around there is in need of repair. And it's been there, I don't know the number of years it's been there, but I'd say it's been a little bit of time. And around the baseball backstop, because currently there are some holes where when we're playing games, the balls can go under. So just an update of that. The remaining funds would go toward the renovation of the Barbara Johns Auditorium. You had appropriated some money to us for that, and we wrote a grant through the state of Virginia, which we were awarded, and the additional funds would go to the renovation of that auditorium. Since I've been in Prince Edward County Public Schools, I can say that auditorium is used a lot by the school division, but it's used a lot on the weekends for community events and a lot of funerals and different things, and we want to update that and make it a pleasant place for people to come and use. So I ask for your support in this appropriation. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Would anyone from the gallery like to speak to this question?
Hello again.
Good evening.
I'd like to ask for your support for these appropriations. I'm a graduate of Prince Edward High School in 2004, father of two that attend. Mr. Jones, I think you're doing a phenomenal job. We've seen massive improvements over the last year that you've been there, both in the happiness and well-being of the kids and the school itself. So it is kind of disheartening to pull up to the school and have the memories of being a student there and graduating in 2004 to see it in the condition it's in now. So the improvements that you're asking for and the beautification and different things, I think would be an excellent investment for the community and for the kids there. So thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Move that
So-
we, go ahead.
So moved that we appropriate the funding to Prince Edward County Public Schools.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillen?
Yes.
And my vote is yes. The motion carries. At this time, the board welcomes Mr. Trey Pyle to discuss amendment to County Code Chapter 70 Taxation, the Fire and EMS Incentive.
Good evening, Board, Chair.
Good evening.
At its March meeting, the board held a public hearing prior to considering amendments to Chapter 70 taxation of the county code and added Section 70-7, which creates a separate tax classification for motor vehicles owned or leased by active volunteer members of volunteer fire and rescue departments in the county, and provides authority of implementation by the Commissioner of Revenue for each volunteer agency. Following the public hearing, the board voted to table the action and proposed on the proposed amendments. The chairman has asked that this be placed back on the April agenda for further discussion. As the board is aware, the Public Safety Committee has been working with staff and the Prince Edward Area Firefighters Association for the past year on structuring a volunteer incentive program that will help recruit and retain volunteer firefighters and volunteer EMTs. The Ordinance Committee has reviewed these amendments in February 10th, 2026 meeting and forwarded it to the board with a recommendation. Lastly, that for implementation, the amendment requires that the board establish a tax rate for the new classification of personal property. Staff recommends the board may wish to refer this to the Finance Committee with direction to review tax rate options and bring a recommendation back to the full board on the May 12th meeting. I'll be glad to answer any questions I can for you. I believe y'all heard from several of the firefighters today about their support. But any questions you have, I'll be glad to help.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Yes.
All right. In that case, I will entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Second.
And that is, just to clarify, a motion to approve the proposed amendments.
Yes.
Chapter 70, add section 70-7,
Very good.
and to make it effective January 1st, 26.
And also to refer to Finance Committee. All right. And my hope will be that the Finance Committee recommends that we set that rate to 0, that we can offer a complete and coherent thank you to our volunteers.
1 cent. legally
1 cent. A negligible
Yeah.
amount, as low as legally possible.
Yeah.
That's my tax motto. We have a motion on the floor with a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
I'm going to have to abstain because I am a member of Company 6
All
Volunteer
right,
Fire Department.
very good, thank you. And my vote is yes. The motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you all. At this time, the board will welcome Mr. Jeff Jones to discuss the landfill entrance and scale house replacement project.
I'm gonna say, it's not weird if y'all wanna get up and walk away. Not awkward.
Don't nobody want to hear me talk about trash. They all
Hear Jeff talk about
Well, good evening, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the board.
Good evening.
As you all know, since the Properties Committee on March 26th reviewed the plans to upgrade the landfill and the entrance and replace the scale house, me and Sarah have been working with Labella and Darrell, the engineer. Everybody knows it's been to the landfill. The scale house is in rather rough conditions. It doesn't have any floor in it. The bathrooms is about as big as this podium right here. It's just in dire need of replacement. And when I started 5 years ago, we were intake at 100 tons a day. Today, the DEQ intake is 300 tons a day. So the landfill is growing in the last 6 years. I mean, we're steadily growing, and there's steadily more people moving into Prince Edward County. I had a meeting with the Properties Committee, and more justification for the scale house office is, you know, in the winter times, the old computer system, the ink would freeze. It was so cold in the building. We've got a new computer system now, and we want to keep everything as nice and clean as possible. Well, the old scale house now, we've got duct tape on the windows to keep the dust from blowing in. It's just, it was old when they put it there 15 years ago. I mean, I don't know exactly how old that is, but I'm pretty sure it's 15, 20 years old when they put it in 15 years ago. So what we're looking to do is, you know, I've worked with the Properties Committee, is we're trying to get it to go through to where we can put it out to bid, for a construction project to do. The good thing is that we won't need to borrow or any money. I have enough money in the landfill construction project fund to cover the complete cost of the project. So I'm just asking the board, you know, to follow the Properties Committee recommendation and move forward with that project.
All right, very good, thank you, Jeff. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair, for no discussion, I move the board accept the recommendation from the Properties Committee.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins? Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes, the motion carries.
Thank you all, and I just want to take a minute to say thank you for all the support you give to solid waste. I know a lot's changed in 5 or 6 years since it was run before. I mean, and like I say, we're steadily growing, and I'm steadily looking for more business to make us more money and to be a better landfill. So thank you all for all the support. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Trey?
I'm back. As the board is aware, the ordinance committee, Supervisors Jones, Emmert, and Gillum, is systematically working its way through the county code, reviewing each ordinance. At its March 24th, 2026 meeting, the committee reviewed the following ordinances. Chapter 30, Civil Emergencies. Myself reviewed the civil emergencies and recommended to the committee to the repeal of the original ordinance in its entirety, as much of it is now obsolete and has been absorbed into operating procedures of the County Emergencies Operations Plan. I've recommended the readoption of a new ordinance to bring the ordinance into agreement with Virginia Code 44-146.13 of the Virginia Code, also known as the Commonwealth of Virginia Emergency Service and Disaster Law of 2000. Sarah's given me permission to speak for her, so I'll just read the second one. At that same meeting, Chapter 58, Health and Sanitation, was presented by Ms. Puckett, reviewed the health and sanitation. Additionally, she forwarded the ordinance to the Piedmont Health District for review, as a majority of the ordinance references restaurant regulations. The attached email from Dr. Maria Allman, Health Director for Piedmont Health District, notes that the county ordinance could cause confusion as food regulations are now covered by Virginia Code 35-1.1-14 and Administrative Code 12 VAC 5-421. The attachments are there for your review, along with the email, sample motions for authorizing the public hearing.
Thank you very much. Entertain a motion.
So moved for public hearing. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yep.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. The motion carries. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, with your permission, I have one item on the table pack. Is there any way I can address that
Please
real
do.
quick? This is the final piece of the radio project, and I am so glad to be standing here in front of you with it for review and hopefully your consideration. On December 12, 2023, at its regular meeting, the Prince Edward County Board of Supervisors approved a purchase contract with Motorola Solutions for a P25 trunk UHF countywide radio system in partnership with the town of Farmville, Longwood University and Hampton City College. The system was designed to utilize 3 tower sites within the county to achieve a 95% radio coverage objective. Lease agreements for the tower sites were not included in the original purchase price and have been under negotiation for the past several months, some of them a little bit longer, with the county's consultant, CTA. Over the past year and a half, staff has worked closely with CTA, Dominion, and Dominion's tower vendor, Vertical Bridge, to secure a lease spot on the Dominion Tower located near the intersection of East 3rd Street and Millwood Road. Motorola Solutions has confirmed that this is the site necessary to meet the system's 95% coverage, particularly within the town of Farmville. Attached for review is a proposed lease agreement between Vertical Bridge and Prince Edward County. The agreement provides for a monthly lease payment of $1,300 for an initial 14-year term with 3% annual escalator, and includes 4 additional 5-year term renewal terms. This lease rate is considered below average for the current industry standards for tower site leasing. The agreement has been reviewed and approved by the county attorney, and the lease is attached for your review. And I'll be glad to answer any questions that I can.
Thank you very much. Entertain a motion to approve.
Before we do, is Vertical Bridge, that's Dominion and Dominion?
So, yeah, so what Dominion did, and we kind of went through this over the past years while we've been delayed so much. Dominion used to handle their tower leases independently. They, within the last 6 months, decided to contract all their tower leasing out to Vertical Bridge. So Vertical Bridge handles the tower leasing and maintenance and all that of their towers.
With that said, page 80, back up, number 11. Is that code, or what is it that's saying that towers have to be leased, or not leased to the county, but can be used by the county free of charge? Page 80, number 11.
Page 80 of our county code.
Page 80 on our stuff.
So that code section, and if Doug, you may be able to help me also, that's been taken out by the Commonwealth. It's not illegal to make that be proffered.
We can't condition, I used to all the time, put a condition
Then
and said.
we just use that as a condition just a minute ago.
Well, it said it will host, but we've got a lease. We've already signed the lease for that one.
Yeah, they can offer a space on it, but it will not be offered.
And not,
free
no
of charge.
cost.
Right.
It used to be, we always would mandate, you will provide not only space on the tower at no cost, but also ground space and paid electricity. But you can't do that
Correct.
anymore.
If we can't do that, we don't need it in our verbiage that we just asked for and passed.
Well, what they're saying is they will provide us space.
It's not, so
It's not free.
the way Robbie explained to me, he rewrote it was, they will guarantee a space on the tower, but there will be a lease behind it.
Because we were not going to give them a 255-foot tower if
Correct.
we couldn't get on the tower.
Yeah. The original verbiage, I believe it said proffer free space or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Correct, but it says that local government access owners of towers shall provide. We can't require them to provide.
At no
if
cost.
it's- Right, if it is not in our ordinance. Owners of
I don't think
towers
through
shall
can,
provide, we can't require them to provide.
They've agreed to the condition that they will provide us space, but at a negotiated fee.
We can make sure that we can ensure they provide, we just have to pay.
Yeah.
Whatever the
That's
negotiated.
how it's written currently, is they have to give us space,
We
but
can
then we have
require,
to.
they must give us space.
It says without compensation, though. We can't require them to give it without compensation. If so, then what we're getting ready to do right now, we're getting ready to compensate a company for tower space.
But again, that tower is not under our jurisdiction. That's on the town of Farmville's jurisdiction. So we're negotiating for a tower that you don't control the zoning under. That makes
Correct.
sense.
I guess what I'm asking, is our zoning now, or our ordinances, or whatever else, is it legal for us to require them to give it?
Called taking.
If you give it for free, it's a taking.
Free, it's a taking. If you require.
Right.
At no cost.
What we've got something conflicting, either in my brain or somewhere else. If our ordinance says that we cannot require, then the number 11 right here says we are requiring them without compensation.
Is that on the
It's in the lease.
conditions of the
It absolutely-
milestone, or is
it's
that?
absolutely in the conditions. On page 8 and number 11.
I don't have that in.
Owners
front
of
me, so-
towers shall provide the county co-location opportunities without compensation.
To my knowledge, that was.
Well,
That
it's in
was.
here.
No, I
I
understand.
just voted on it.
Right, but I believe that
It
was,
just- I mean.
that was
where-
struck.
Where's our attorney, where's whoever?
Hold on a second. And those aren't, let me see. Let's get to the actual conditions. Those aren't that's the responses from the applicant.
Well, the applicant says the facility will host,
Yeah.
but that's a condition, number 11.
Right.
I'm trying to get to the.
On the table pack is page 80.
Page 80 is number 11.
Number 11.
Owners of towers shall provide the county co-location opportunities without compensation
Compensation
as a
as a
community benefit to improve radio.
If you go to page 193, David, they're the actual conditions that were approved.
193.
193. That was on the, came from the planning commission.
Maybe after you and I got 40 more pages here. Read it to me, where are you located?
193.
I'm still not there.
What number, Doug?
I'm looking, that's what I'm saying, those other comments and questions, I think those are.
So it doesn't give us free here either.
Yeah, we don't,
They may have said so, but it's not a.
we can't get free. Yeah, we cannot require free space. We already have a lease already signed with them, but we cannot require free space.
Well, they agreed to it to begin with and then backed up? Is that, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, because they said that they gave it.
I've never had
I
a
think they
conversation
said
with
they
them.
were giving space to the county. Lou, you've been
Correct.
talking to the applicant for a year.
Yeah.
He was pledging to provide space to the county, but he never was going to give it to us.
And we had to negotiate the rate, which they started at $4,500, and we got down to
800.
$800.
Yeah.
And that come from just saying, no, we're not gonna do that, we're not gonna pay it.
Mr. Chairman, I think what is represented on page 80, and I'm not familiar with these documents since this is Mr. Love's area of expertise, but it appears that whomever Helen Yates is,
That's Mr. Yates's
That's Mr.
firm.
Yates.
is responding, the number 11 appears to represent a section of the Prince Edward County Code, and then the statement below it, the facility will also host Prince Edward County's emergency communication equipment. I think that's their response, because if you keep looking at
Yeah.
other items, they are responding, and back on page 76, it says we have taken the liberty of recasting the relevant sections of the Prince Edward County zoning ordinance with our answer to the relevant section in bold beneath. So I think they are kindly telling us that while they will host the equipment, I don't know that they're saying that they're gonna do it for free.
I think I agree with your reading of that, and if that is the case, and if we cannot require it to be free, then we need to, the ordinance committee needs to revisit that.
I was gonna say, we can't have it both ways, people.
Right.
I don't have the ordinance in front of me, but I know that was supposed to be struck when we redid the
It changed a
tower.
couple years ago, the Code of Virginia.
Yeah, I think and in fact, I will gladly go pull it up here in a few minutes and verify that, but I'm almost positive that was one of the line items that was
So
repealed.
Robbie must have been using an outdated.
This would have started prior to that ordinance being changed. So the conversations back and forth with Mr. Yates was prior to the ordinance being changed.
But this document is dated February 11th, 26.
Right, I think that was right around the same time.
Okay, so you're saying we updated this.
He may have sent that document to him, and then we changed the ordinance for the tower height allowance, and we changed some ordinance in there for language.
Okay, so we just need to double check
We will
that
yes,
that
absolutely.
ordinance is up to
Yes.
date going forward.
Yes.
So I'm pulling up the ordinance right now. The amendment that was adopted in January, let's see here. Yes, all right, so we just, 3 months ago, adopted the ordinance amendment. In number 11, it now reads, local government access, period. Owners of towers shall provide the county co-location opportunities, and then struck through, without compensation as a community benefit, struck through, to improve radio communications for county departments. So that language was struck by the board and what it adopted back in January, but somewhere,
Rob got an old one.
I think that he had started the paperwork.
When did we start with this? Prior to January?
We've been talking to Mr. Yates for several months. So when he filled this application out, he may have had a paperwork that was prior to that
If it was
ordinance
prior
change.
to January, then they're required to give it to us free.
we couldn't require it,
Couldn't
David.
require it.
We're not.
Legally.
State code would not allow us to
And there's
require it.
court cases, there's
I understand
litigation.
that, but they agreed to it.
I don't think this is them agreeing to it, to Sarah's previous point. I think in the language in bold underneath.
Lou's been going back and forth with him over the price since last fall, right, Lou?
Yeah, we were beginning of fall, starting with the lease and back and forth and all that, so.
And we actually have an executed contract with them already for space on that tower that the board approved.
October, November, maybe December the latest.
Make it right.
And we have to pay for the extra footage
We're
and
paying
lighting.
for the 50, we get top spot.
Yep.
And we pay for the 50-foot, and we're getting the $800 per month lease, so.
So the ordinance, I guess, the important thing is the ordinance is correct to conform with the state code requirements right now.
And to David's point, we want to make sure that we're all on the same page as far as what they agreed to, right?
Correct, because they agreed to it being free when this was going, when we thought that we could require that, prior to January when the ordinance changed.
Well, I'd say this is,
Am I seeing that wrong?
well,
If they did it prior to our ordinance changing, they agreed to do it for free.
what I'm reading here says they
Whether we
respond,
can require it or not, they agreed to it.
what I'm reading here, the facility will host Prince Edward's emergency equipment, doesn't say free, or it says it will host our equipment.
And the letter is
On page
dated
80.
following the ordinance amendment. That's what's a little bit perplexing, but
It's extremely perplexing to me that someone would agree to something when you have an ordinance on the books, and then when the ordinance changes, they decide that they're gonna charge for it.
To be honest, I know Robbie knew this was not legal from the start of the conversation with the tower
Then
company,
it
so
should
I don't know
never-
why.
There should never be in a board packet
Right.
for us to vote on, because we voted on it according to the board packet.
I think Mr. Yates, because he was talking with Lou and Lou was trying to get the cost down, certainly knew the intent was, I'm gonna charge the county. The question was, how much is he gonna charge? For the lease.
One bit of confusion, and I may need to be corrected on this. the funds were negotiated with Verizon to be on the tower. And I think I'm right on that,
Milestone. So they represent,
Verizon.
yeah, they're representing the carrier that will be on it.
Milestone had to okay everything with Verizon, because every time we talked to Price, he had to go back to Verizon.
Yeah, correct. Milestone is building the tower and they'll maintain the tower.
Right.
Yes.
Page 76, paragraph 2, I think will provide helpful clarification. The first sentence, we have taken the liberty of recasting the relevant sections of the Prince Edward County zoning ordinance with our answer to the relevant section in bold beneath. So where you're reading in section 11, number 11, those are our words, and then their response to it, what they're agreeing to, is that, yes, they will host Prince Edward County's emergency communication equipment, but they never agree to do that for free.
That's where the board sees, that's where the board sees.
I'd like to go back and rescind my vote as a yay and just be absolutely neutral, because there's something about that does not work with me. For something to be in a packet for me to vote on and is read that way, and Mr. Yates to have agreed with it, let's just say in June, and then we rescind something in January, and then something else takes place. Because like Doug just said, in prior times, that was a requirement, or that he required, or whatever else, so they knew that we had prior to.
So when did the state code change?
It's been several years ago.
So several years ago, so we started working on this with this verbiage in our
We had not updated the ordinance.
case in point, what I've been saying for 11 years. Flat out not happy about it. Vote the way you want to. We have stuff come before us, group, that our ordinance says one thing and we vote on a different way, and then we present it to somebody else and then it comes back and then we change it. It certainly doesn't look good on our behalf. I'll belabor no more.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve the request for the special use permit by Jonathan Yates for Milestone Towers to construct a 255-foot self-supporting tower.
Chair, we're on,
We on-
board
I'm
pack
sorry.
23,
23.
on the,
I'm
table
back
pack.
in.
Yeah.
After the pack.
Thank you, Trey. That one,
Yep.
Yeah.
Vertical bridge. Lee.
vertical
Yeah.
bridge.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert.
I will vote yes on the vertical bridge because evidently something has been changed.
Okay. Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes.
Thank you, board.
Thank you, Trey. We will now go back to number 14, citizen volunteer appointments. Ms. Puckett.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, let's flip back here to the correct spot on page 231. Before you is the list of positions that have expiring terms of office as of June 30, 2026. You will note that two of those positions, one on the Social Services Board and one on the Central Virginia Regional Library Board, have incumbents that are not eligible for reappointment because they've their term, they've
231.
They've held the office for the limit of the terms. And so with the board's authorization, we will advertise all of these citizen volunteer positions and accept applications and present them to you at the June board meeting.
Excuse me, Mr. Sir, what I understand is at the end of this term, Clark and Booker would be.
They are not eligible for
Right,
reappointment. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
They have served, I think both of those have a two-term limit, if I'm not mistaken. So they've both served for 8 years, so.
Now, social services, that's out of Davis District.
So what we try to do with social services, and I will bow to Supervisor Cooper Jones or Supervisor Pride to better understand, but basically, if you look at Prince Edward County on a map, we've kind of divided it into 4 geographic regions to try and make sure that the distribution of representation, is balanced so that the needs of all of the communities of interest in the county are represented. So I'm going to say it is the northwest quadrant. So I call that the Prospect to Pamplin region. There's no hard and fast line or it's ultimately it's up to the board to assess, who they feel is the best candidate. But we try and encourage representation from all of the geographies of the county. And so that is where Dr. Clark, I believe, presently resides in I'm going to say the Tuggle area.
Mm-hmm.
So, so just somewhere in that kind of northwest quadrant would keep those communities of interest represented.
Very good. We have a
So-
motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Mr. Emmer?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins?
Yep.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. The motion carries.
And
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman, while I'm still standing, would you like for me to confuse your agenda yet again and go ahead and do item 24?
Yes, please.
Which is the second ordinance committee recommendation. It was a handout because the ordinance committee met late this afternoon. So does everybody have a copy?
Yes.
So as the board is aware, as Trey said earlier, the ordinance committee is systematically working its way through the county code. I think they're making great progress. At its April 14th meeting, the committee reviewed Chapter 26, cemeteries. Mr. Love, the Director of Planning and Community Development, reviewed this chapter and recommended to the committee the repeal of the original ordinance in its entirety, as the existing ordinance predates the county zoning ordinance, which enables and regulates cemeteries, as do regulations of the Virginia Department of Health. So basically, back in 1960, this ordinance was passed to enable the establishment of Trinity Memorial Gardens. And it specifically says that since we have no zoning ordinance, this is the way we can do it. And it's been on the books since that time, probably should have been repealed, as Mr. Love pointed out to the committee, back when the zoning ordinance was established. It kind of holds no weight, has no value, and we believe that the board could repeal it in its entirety. Chapter 46 was also Articles 3 and 5, which are stormwater and erosion and sediment control, were both also reviewed by Mr. Love. There's been a significant change at the state level, and the state now, and this is kind of their, I think their history in this area, is that they mandate basically the adoption of their state model ordinance. And that way, I guess that's their way of ensuring that localities follow all the regulations. The new state model ordinance is consolidated, so it will be one chapter of both erosion and sediment control. In addition, our current ordinance has the county managing the towns, I believe it's E&S. Nobody's here that can. And the town just adopted, I believe, its own ordinance that says that they're going to do their own E&S. So the recommendation is that the board repeal the original 2 chapters and hold a public hearing at your May meeting for consideration of the new consolidated ordinance and the repeal of the old ones, so that we can meet the state deadline for the new model ordinance. And that comes with a recommendation from the ordinance committee.
Move the board accept the recommendation from the ordinance committee and offer the public hearings.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmer?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins? Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Chip, this was another 1960 by a gentleman by the name of Hugh Martin Jones, or Hugh Martin Jenkins. 1960.
That was a few days ago.
All right. Cheryl?
Good evening again.
Good evening.
First item for the Finance Department is professional pre-audit services. As in the past, we have used ClearPoint CPAs for our pre-audit services. We are asking for that again this year, and their scope of work and their fees are attached to the agenda item.
So
And-
moved.
Thank you.
A motion and a second. Mr. Emmer?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes.
The next item is FY '26 school appropriation. Prince Edward County Schools has been awarded a Gear Up Longwood grant from Longwood University to enhance programs and services that promote student achievement. The school board has made a request to appropriate funds totaling $30,207 in local Longwood grant funds to the school operating budgets as described.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmer?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. Thank you to whoever got that grant. That's awesome. Local dollars. Thank you.
Last item for the Finance Department is IDA reimbursement appropriation. The IDA has received a request for tax incentive payments from the Sandy River Distillery. Incentive payments are directly linked to real estate and personal property taxes collected by the county. Sandy River Distillery also receives a tourism grant for 5 years in the amount of $5,000 per year. This grant is funded by the transient occupancy tax. Staff is asking the board to appropriate funds previously collected to reimburse the IDA for tax incentive and grant expenditures.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert? Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins? Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 16, resolution, smart scale application for Zion Hill Road project. Mr. Stanley?
Attached to the board's consideration is a resolution for endorsement of Zion Hill Sidewalk Project as a smart scale application to the CTB. Last May, the board authorized staff to move forward with the Phase 1, which was just from the high school over to the apartment complex, through the TAP program, which requires a 20% county match. Costs are escalating. By going through smart scale, anything over that amount would be covered by the state smart scale program if we're selected. The only real way we're able to do this is the fact that we included that area as part of our urban development area, which makes it eligible for smart scale. And I think if we can get it on this piece, then we can come back and look at going back out towards 15 and let it be total 100% VDOT funded. But because it's in the UDA and because we had put 20% of the TAP match, they think this will score well and possibly get funded. It'll just maybe delay it for a few years, but at least our costs will be capped anyway.
Actually, I think CRC brings that up tomorrow.
Good.
Excellent. I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
This resolution is just being created, right?
Yeah.
As Bill is chair.
No, it was.
They corrected that.
Yes, created
Karen
back in
corrected it.
2025.
Yep.
Yeah.
Karen caught it and got it fixed.
It's the same one.
We've got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. I'm a little off tonight. I apologize. Number 17, the board's strategic plan. Mr. Stanley.
So a clear, unified strategic plan provides direction for decision-making, aligns priorities, and communicates the county's vision for growth and opportunity to residents, businesses, partners, and county staff. The board identified as a priority the review and update of the county's 2018-2038 strategic plan, originally developed in 2016 and updated in 2018. The updated plan has been refined into a concise one-page document to improve usability and support communication and marketing efforts. The board initiated this process back on January 8th with an environmental scan, including an overview of the strategic planning process, purpose, and format. That was followed by individual board member interviews conducted by Tyler St. Clair during the week of January 12th. After a weather-related delay, the board reconvened on March 6th and 7th to review the assessment findings, refine the county's vision, and identify key target areas for implementation. The resulting vision statement is as follows. Prince Edward County is the heart of Virginia, a regional hub for commerce, education, and cultural resources where rich heritage and intentional growth foster opportunity, strengthen community, and empower families and businesses to build lives of purpose and lasting prosperity. To achieve this vision, the board identified 6 strategic focus areas: economic development, education, housing, recreation and culture, public safety, and health and county operations. The summary that's included is intended to serve as both a guiding framework and a public-facing communication tool, supporting distribution to citizens and placement on the county's website, social media, and in public facilities, like we've got a couple copies of the old one up here in the courthouse. So once the board adopts this, we'll make some efforts to start pushing this out on different platforms. But I think it was great work by the board to reach consensus on the document. And good work.
I move to adopt the proposed strategic 2040 strategic plan.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert? Yes. Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yep.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gill?
Yes.
My vote is yes. The motion carries. County Administrator's report.
Just a few items, Mr. Chair. Manor Turn Lane Project, VDOT has received the notice to proceed with right-of-way acquisition. Part of that's going to be on the Manor side, part of it's going to be on the Davis property on the west side of 15. The project is currently scheduled for a June 2027 add date. Obviously, could move up a little bit depending on progress on negotiations. Prince Edward County boundary line, VDOT has completed relocation of signage on Route 600, 616, 617, and 307 to delineate where the line actually is with Nottaway. VDOT 6-year plan, again, as Scott noted, we're going to be not able to add projects this year. Virginia's Heartland Regional Economic Development Alliance, we received word last month that the Alliance will receive a grant amount of $141,000 from Go Virginia Region 3. The purpose of the grant will be to review selected existing business parks and a site core suitability analysis. This will help us market the region's properties by helping to get cost estimates of what it would take them to get them to Tier 4 status. Wayfinding signage, VDOT has approved the county's wayfinding signage proposal. We'll be moving forward to preparing some bid documents to get those new entrance signs put in. Down note, drought conditions have been upgraded from moderate to severe drought conditions as of March 31. I think it's quite likely that we will be placing a ban on outdoor burning, possibly as early as tomorrow. But conditions are drying out really quickly. I know Trey was talking to Forestry today to, a lot of concern out there for brush fires and things like that. Last thing, school CIP tour, I want to thank Dr. Jones for helping us organize a tour of the elementary school project and upcoming project at the high school. April 24th at 10 a.m. We'll meet at the elementary school entrance, and I will make sure we send out a reminder next week just so anybody that can make it, it's a Friday morning at 10, would be able to make it. And I'm sure Chip would love to have, just let me know. You got to get helmets, I'm sure. Okay.
I would implement a burn ban first thing in the morning.
I think that's kind of what the plan is. Yeah.
Another little comment, two of my neighbors, they've showed severe stress and concern over purchasing property and not knowing something's gonna happen down the road that's already in the works. And I don't know what we can do for better advertisement, to let individuals know if they're looking to purchase property, but we really need to put a little thought into that.
The difficulty here is when an application is withdrawn, we don't go back and tell people that there used to be an application, because we don't know whether that'll come back or not. What I really encourage folks is their realtor, first of all, the person selling the property probably knows that and probably is not disclosing maybe some of that information. But I really encourage the realtor, all they have to do is call the office and say, hey, I'm looking, and give them an address, I'm looking at this property. Have a conversation. Has there been any applications? 5 years, are you aware of anything that's in the area?
Right.
And I think having that dialogue, I encourage everybody, when they buy a piece of property, to talk to folks and ask questions. It would be difficult for us to have a GIS of, every week, could be Chelsea, could be me, could be Robbie. We talk to somebody who has a thought about doing something. Do I put somebody's personal thought that they've trusted to have a private conversation with the county about buying a potential piece of property for a development project? I can't share that publicly, but that's what,
Not until they've made an, not
Could we
until they actually-
flag-
I made an application. That's
Could we
right.
flag a formal application on
Yeah.
the GIS? Is
Um,
that possible, without being incredibly labor intensive,
well,
without creating a new position?
we're still trying to get parcels updated from subdivisions 5 years ago. I think that's the reality is GIS is not in real time. I will say we can look at, say, can we,
Maybe that's a long-term goal.
Yeah.
Once GIS is completely buttoned up and straight,
but the problem is at any one point in time, you're only going to have 2 or 3 applications on there.
Right.
And maybe that's not hard, right? You could have a pending projects layer.
It's not on GIS, maybe we can find another place on the county's website, pending
Applications or something.
something,
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's not going to solve this problem where it was an application that went away.
certainly not, certainly not.
I can't.
I think this was if I understand correctly, the timing of these individuals' purchases.
What he wanted to know was that there was an application coming. But again, until that application's filed, it's not an
Can't-
application.
You're right, you can't know.
And by the time it was filed, the purchase had been executed.
I feel for him. That's why I said, ultimately, if they call and ask Robert Love, is there been any talk near Pin Oak and Five Forks for any type of development application? He could say, well, there's a subdivision they're working on across the street, or, potential, he can certainly have that conversation with the realtor or the individual, but, as far as filed applications, that's gonna be a little tougher. But, yeah, for instance, we've approved subdivisions that could have been approved 10 years ago that have never been subdivided, but that's what they want to know. Can you tell me all the subdivisions that the county's approved, but nobody's built a house on it yet? That could be a huge number.
So maybe it's just a PSA to local real estate agents to say, hey, you can always call Robbie. And I'm sure they know that already.
Or maybe there could even be a Facebook post, something,
Yeah.
and a website post.
Yeah.
So.
Have the opinions of others around, not necessarily governmental. Put it on social media, Facebook. Say, hey, there was some talk about this a while back, and it didn't materialize.
You will
Whatever,
certainly
might
get,
You
yeah.
might hear some useful information, you might hear some not so.
I could put a flag and say there was a hotel conference facility planned for the road, on the road to nowhere. I could put that flag out there, it's not coming back, but it was certainly talked about. Yeah. But yeah, I think we'll take that to heart and try to see if there's some way we can do things better, Lou. But I think ultimately, if anybody asks you, tell them to call down here at the office and have a conversation. We certainly
It
can
was
share what we
amazing
know.
how many people called me after the planning commission meeting, that they had no clue, and they've been living there all their life.
And they probably rode by the sign that we had to post, and, you know, that's, yeah.
All right.
We need a closed session, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I believe
we
so.
Yeah,
I believe
it's
so.
on.
And that is the last actionable item on our agenda, so we'll go in and come right out, and then we'll be done for the evening, so.
I move the Board of Supervisors convene closed session for discussion and consideration of Shawnee County Attorney pursuant to the exemptions provided for in section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia, and for discussion and consideration of terms and scope of the contract for legal services pursuant to the exemptions provided for in section 2.2-3711A29.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins? Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. We are now in closed session.
You better leave that kid in there.
I entertain a motion to return to open session.
So moved, so moved, so moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins? Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. All right, and I entertain a motion to certify as presented that all laws were followed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
And my vote is yes. Motion carries.
Anything else?
We need that motion. Yeah.
Whereas Prince County Board of Supervisors.
No, we did that one.
I'm on the motion for.
We did that. A motion for what was
To
discussed.
discuss.
I make a motion that we put an RFP out for the attorney for the county.
Second.
A motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins? Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. The motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
No. We don't adjourn, right?
To recess.
Recess till
Recess
next week,
till the
21st.
Does somebody have
That
something
one.
next?
It's voting.
Voting
Okay,
on the 21st.
okay. Well, I just didn't know
It
if we
is-
needed to meet earlier or not, if we're recessing, but we can get, it will not be, hopefully, a long meeting. I think it'll be pretty, 30 minutes or less, I think.
Okay.
Pretty
Okay.
scheduled.
We will recess
30
until
minutes or less? Sound good.
Till 7?
7 o'clock,
7
Tuesday, April 21st.
All right.
Then we'll have a watch party for the
Yep.
results. We've got a motion by Jerry and a second by David. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins? Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
And my vote is yes. We are recessed.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow, Biggs.
Let's do it this night.
Yes, sir.